Now I'm live. This is now the second try, and I have some homework sent to me by one of my students. So I'll be talking about that. Just sending her a message now. Okay, so here we are again. Why are we doing this online lesson? We're doing this lesson because we are in quarantine because there is a virus in Italy and the students can't go to school and the teachers can't go to school. So I offered to do a free lesson for A to B1 students so that they could have the opportunity to send me any questions they might have about their homework, or they could send me a question here on chat. You can see here, I've now enabled chat. I'm sorry, this is the first time I've done this. So here I am. Okay, so here I am. I'm live on YouTube. Barbara Craig, Art in English in Tuscany. We are under basically house arrest. We can only go out to shop or go to the doctor or go to work. I'm not allowed to go to work at the moment. I'm not sick. That's one good thing. And I live in a beautiful place, so I can go outside in the garden, which is also great. And now I'm going to ask you to send me your questions. So I've got my first question. Okay. So this is from a student in second year of high school in Italy. I'm going to read you the text. Earth, a visitor's guide. Hi, is anyone out there? Come and visit. We're between Venus and Mars. Is that us? I think so. To survive on Earth, we need food and water, but if we eat too much food, that's correct. If we eat too much food, that's correct. We get ill. We love being outside in the sun, but if we don't use special protection, our skin burns. That's also correct. We're friendly, but people here can be selfish. If we shared things more, it would be a nicer planet. Very correct. Very good. There are a lot of us here. If our population keeps growing, we'll need a new place to live. Some species here have already become extinct. Unhappy face. If you'd visited, that's correct. If you'd visited 65 million years ago, you'd have seen some amazing dinosaurs. So far, all the answers are correct. Very good. Write two versions of each sentence, one for person A and one for person B. Use first and second conditionals. Use contracted forms where possible. So, as you probably know, somebody might have told you that in English, we generally use the contracted form for in. Okay, so generally, it's very difficult to get students to use the contracted form because it's not common in Italian to have the contracted form. Okay, so here are the sentences. If I go to space, I take some music. Okay. So you're supposed to write the sentence that they're supposed to do. So I'll ask that student, if you're present now, to send me your homework, a picture of your homework on WhatsApp so I can tell you whether it's right or not. Do it now, okay? So if you can, send me a picture now of the homework if you've already done it. So you have to choose an astronaut or you. So obviously the verb is go. So do you think go is for an astronaut or you? So go is for you. If you go into space, take some music. If you go into space, you take some music. Now, I don't know. What do you think? Could some of the people that are out there tell me what you think? Should it be the first conditional or the second conditional? Any ideas? I can't say your names because that would be violating your privacy, but you can, if you have a Gmail account, you can write here the the answer that you think. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it here on chat. The question, I'm going to write the question here on chat, and you have to choose whether it's the first or second conditional, okay? So we know it's an astronaut or you, but the verb goes into space. They should take some music. If an astronaut goes into space, they could take some music. Okay. So I don't know. What do you think? Is that the first conditional or the second conditional? I'm going to wait and see if you have any ideas. Can you send me an answer? How should I write it? I have one viewer now. So what should I do? First or second conditional? You can write on the chat window on the right. If you're watching, you can write there. What do you think the answer is? First or second conditional? Question. So at the moment, we have to discuss whether this is a likely question or an unlikely question. Is it likely that an astronaut is going to go into space, or unlikely that the astronaut is going to go into space? Good question. Nobody's answering me. We need to have some activity here on the chat window. If you are watching, could you please answer? Do you think it's likely or not likely? Can you answer on the chat window on the right? Okay. Reference, okay? Okay, the first conditional is used for talking about possibilities in the present or in the future. The second conditional expresses unreal situations in the present or future. First conditional, if the weather is nice, we'll go swimming. Second conditional, if I had £1 million, I would buy a yacht. So which one did I write on the chat window? If an astronaut goes into space, they could take some music. Is it first or second conditional? Any ideas? Okay, so it's an unreal situation. Not unreal because it's just unlikely. Okay, so not many astronauts go into space as far as we know. So it's unlikely situation, and that means that it's a first or second conditional. Now we're going to go to the second question in the exercise. So we need to talk about what's actually happening here, and very stressed. We had an earthquake today. Shortly after lunch, the earth was shaking. It was almost a 0.3 or 3-point magnitude earthquake, as well as the fact that we can't go out, we can't see our friends, we can't go to work. So it's not exactly the most pleasant situation. In Italy, we're used to earthquakes, but we're not used to being stuck in the house. That's not something that we're used to. So it's not a serious earthquake, but it's not a great situation to be in. I think that may be also why the internet went out there shortly for a short time. Okay, so we have if and then compete in the Olympics, be happy. He'll be happy. So that's a likely situation. Or what would you buy if I give you £1,000? That doesn't make sense, that question. I don't like that question. You know, sometimes books make mistakes. So don't be surprised if I make mistakes too, because when people write a book, they have time to think about what they're doing. And unlike me, who I'm live on air, I do not have time to think. I did not plan this. I'm just asking people to send me their homework or their English questions, and we can discuss it together on chat or on WhatsApp. So far on chat, that's only me. I have one list. The subject is, so it's, is what? Okay. You buy if I give you £1,000. I don't think that I can put in the £1,000 symbol on my keyboard, so I'll put in the dollar symbol. Okay, so that's 1,000. And what would a billionaire? That what doesn't make any sense. Anyhow, I'm just gonna put anything. What would you buy if I gave you $1,000? That's the second conditional because it's unlikely that I will give you $1,000. Okay, next question. If I meet the president, I ask him a difficult question. So, is it likely that you will meet the president, your best friend will meet the president, or a journalist will meet the president? It's more likely that a journalist will meet the president, okay? So you say, if a journalist meets the president, because that's likely, present simple. Then the subject is he'll ask him. Okay? So that's the second exercise. Okay, so the next one is write third conditional sentences to show an alternative result for each situation. Use contracted forms where possible. Okay, so the person has written me that they're not able to open the chat window on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to write them back. If you cannot open the chat window on YouTube, you can try refresh. Online lessons. I've done online lessons before. Okay, here it goes. Unstable. I've done online lessons before, but usually one-on-one, not with a whole class, and one-on-one here, or to write me the questions on chat. So they're not able to open the chat window. So I don't know who it is that's watching, but I think it's them. Write third conditional sentences to show an alternative solution for each situation. Use contracted forms where possible. Okay, so let's check. What is the third conditional? Anybody have any suggestions of how we can define the third conditional? The person who's on WhatsApp or the person who is on YouTube, can they tell me what is the third conditional? Okay, so we're closing the lesson now because now it's time to me to get ready for my next lesson. So just to answer the question, we use the third conditional, which is if and past perfect, would and past participle, to talk about something in the past that did not happen. So for example, and this is a good website, British third conditional. If I'd known I would have bought something nice. Okay, so thank you for your time. Now I have a private lesson on Zoom, which is 40 minutes long, and that's for a private client. And this was a free lesson. I hope that was useful, and I hope that we have less technical problems. Bye.